Hello my fellow riders and welcome back to Riding Reviews. Today we're going to go through a couple of tips on what to check before you take your bike for an MOT. Now, as I said in the beginning, this is a bit of a tutorial on things that you can check before you go to the MOT to give you that extra fighting chance on it actually passing. So we're going to go through a couple of things, just have a look around this one. This one is MOT age and it is a Lex Moto Iska. As you can see, it's had a hard life. The guy who owned this worked on a building site, so more rust than normal. Now, usually rust isn't an issue unless it is actually eating into the frame, like quite a bit. This one is got some surface rust, but it's fine. And all of this will be cleaned up before we sell it on. So the first thing to check is on this one, the fork seals. And main thing to look out for these is there any oil on here? Which there is. If there's any oil on the forks or any oil down here, that means that your fork seals have gone and you will need to get them replaced at some point. Fork seals have gone on this one on one side, and I'll show you a picture up here of before and after. Also as well, you've got to make sure that there's not excessive pitting on it, because that is classed as an MOT failure as well. Tyres are supposed to have 1 mil on a motorbike. It's 1.6 mil on a car. Most motorbikes have marks on them to show you when your tyre is down to limit. Chain. This chain is going to need replacing as well because it is rusted and there is going to be some stiff spots, and whoever had this previously has tightened it up way too much. So this is going to need replacing. When you spin your wheel, if it's fine at one point and then it goes stiff and then it's fine and then it's stiff and then it's fine, there's two possibilities for that. One, it could be that the chain has got tight spots and you need to change it, or two, that the brake is either seized on or your caliper or your brake disc is bowed. Things like this, just surface rust isn't an MOT failure, surface rust here isn't an MOT failure. Did you know that legally you do not have to have wing mirrors on your bike for an MOT, and you do not have to have a front light if you're getting a daylight MOT? Older bikes don't have to have indicators as well. But what you want to do is go in to your MOT station with the bike as complete as possible, because it just gives a better impression. Check that all the panels are secure. These ones need a fixing here somewhere. I think it might just lost the rubber, but make sure they're secure. Any sharp edges will be an instant fail. Also, if you've fallen off before and you have snapped your brake or clutch lever, that would be an instant fail as well. When it comes to looking at the tyres, when it comes to looking at the brakes, they want to make sure that your brakes are not seized on. So they will lift it up, spin the wheel, make sure it spins. They will also check the bearings on the front and back wheels, and they'll check for excessive scarring on the disc. This one's got a little bit of scarring, but it is still fine because there is no lip along the top. And brake pads, this one still has quite an amount left. On the rear suspension, again, some surface rust is fine. Deep rust that is going to potentially break is not. This has just got some surface rust on it, and if you look on the shaft of the rear suspension as well, that is the same as the front, so they would be looking for leaks. This one is fine on this side, and it is fine on this side. Checking the brakes, it has some scarring, but it's not excessive, and there is still some on the pad. The reason why this tyre isn't going down round very well is because of that chain is way too tight. Legally as well, because it's a motorbike, the motorbike doesn't have to be running, but it does have to have enough power in the battery to operate your rear lights, your indicators, your horn, and the front headlight. Legally, you do not have to have clocks on your bike, but again, you want your bike to go in as complete as possible. The bike does not have to run, but you want it to be as complete as possible. What I tend to like to do with this sort of thing is I will take a bike down to the MOT station as it is and get them to do an MOT. They will then fail it, which is fine. You have 2 weeks then to repair whatever's wrong with it and take it back, and they legally have to give you a free retest. And usually what they'll do is they'll go and just check, number one, that you haven't used it excessively over the time in between the retests. If you haven't done that, then they will go ahead and check whatever it was that they wrote down, and then, yeah, that's fine. So you do not have to pay for the retest. Engine mounting points, they will check as well. Excessively corroded, they will fail your bike, and if any of them are loose, they will fail your bike. If your steering isn't straight, they can fail your bike. And yeah, there's other things that they check that they can fail the bike on, but you're probably not going to be checking them anyway. This is just a quick guide on what to look out for when you are preparing for an MOT. So my video upload schedule recently hasn't been that constant, and the reason for that is my son has had several chest infections, which has meant that he had to go to hospital quite a lot, and just because of personal reasons, then I haven't been able to upload as many as I wanted to, or as many as I was able to. Soon I will be back to my original schedule. I have a new website, which is ridingreviews.co.uk and ridingreviews.com. I will be uploading some stuff on there for you to be able to purchase motorbike equipment, and any proceeds that come from that will help the channel. Also, at the bottom of this video there is some merch. I didn't think that I could upload any merch recently because you had to have 10,000 subscribers, but apparently they changed the law or the rules of YouTube, and there is some merch down there now. So if you want to get some merch and support Riding Reviews, go down there, buy some of the merch, and all proceeds will go to supporting the channel. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, ride safe.